Tingles with flyby. Hello and welcome to Comestible. Do you have a reservation? Oh, your travel agent? Okay, let me look. And it was for the 7 p.m. Yes, I do have you down there. Wonderful. Well, did your travel agent, because this is your first time, oh, it's your first time to Tingledom. So did they give you any idea about what we're about or anything? Just that we're a good restaurant. Well, this is Comestible. And we're considered the top class restaurant here in Tingledom. It is good that they booked your reservation. We have a lot of people who try to walk in off the street, but we have quite a busy reservation. Yes, it's very popular. One of the most popular, restaurants on the island. And of course has the best chef as well. Yes, she's been, it's kind of a little secret, but she is world-renowned, kind of in the circles that know. Yeah, amazing. So, what I'll let you know, so what we do usually is before we take you to your seats and all that, we'll walk you through the menu. This is Tingledom. Everything is described in sometimes almost excruciating detail, but hopefully it'll help your tingles, come out. That is the point of Tingledom after all, isn't it? And a little bit of magic, Just a nice, relaxing time. After that, after I go through the menu, we'll actually take you to get your beverages. And I'll explain that at the end, right before I take you off to do that, so you know what we're doing. So that'll be at the end. So first, to start off with, I'm just going to talk you through, we have why am I not remembering? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-course meal that you have. And I'll just double check your reservation. Yes, so that has been prepaid as a part of your tour to Tingledom. So that includes the 6-course feast and any beverages that you want. So from each section, you have an option to choose one or more. I'll let you know on the ones where you can choose more. And we kind of have our own names for them. Comestible, we have our own kind of philosophy on food, and that's reflected in the names as well. So I think you'll enjoy that. So the first is just a little nibbles course. And on this one, you can actually get as many as you want. You can have all of them or none of them, whatever you want. The first nibbles that we have is the olive course. This has a wide selection of olives, but it's only a single olive per person. It's going to be a long meal, so we don't want to overload you at first, but there is a wide selection of olives all throughout the world. So, of course, you have the finest Kalamata olives, but we also have different varieties of green and black olives as well. Top quality, hand-selected, delicious. We also have a variety of oysters. These are actually special Tingledom oysters. Yeah, we get our own that actually come out in the bay. Yeah, well, obviously outside the town. And so the fishermen go out there and collect the oysters. So you can get them kind of served any way that oysters are served. You can have fresh, cooked Kilpatrick, anything like that. You know, roasted garlic and butter, whatever you want. Also have a delicious crostini. Now this is one of my favorites. It's just a delicious crostini with a little beef medallion on there, a piece of shaved parmesan, and it's cooked in a kind of beef broth with, it's got a bit, like a really strong umami flavor. Yeah, they don't tell me all the secrets up here. So, yeah, I still haven't figured out what's the secret in that one, but delicious, delicious, that little beef medallion on there. Ooh, it's good. We also have a delicious little wooden spoon foam. Yeah, a foam, I mean, you can actually get different varieties of foams and textures. This one's quite thick, almost like an emulsion. I hate to say kind of like mayonnaise in consistency, but it doesn't taste like mayonnaise at all. It's very smooth and creamy, almost like a mousse, but not quite. But it is a savory foam, and it's got a wild truffle honey, giving it a little bit of sweetness, but that truffle really comes through, and just a hint of white wine vinegar. Yeah, it's an amazing combination. We also have stuffed mushrooms, some of my personal favorites. So we have a vegetarian and a meat version. So the vegetarian stuffed mushrooms, or actually mushroom stuffed mushrooms. Yeah, so you get kind of chopped up porcini mushrooms inside just little button mushrooms. We do use typical white button mushrooms. They are the best for stuffed mushrooms, is what we found. We use Swiss brown on occasions, depending on the chef's mood, but today we do have the white button. And then in the meat stuffed mushrooms, we have sausage, Parmesan cheese, and a delectable house-made cream cheese. Comes together, oh, it's so good, and you have a little chopped up mushroom in there as well. So you could say that those are mushroom stuffed mushrooms as well, but the sausage really is the kicker on that one. The final nibble we have is, I love everything here, I must say, but I am particularly partial to our creamy champagne onions. They're delicious. They're little medallion onions. They are very sweet, so just the natural sweetness of the onion, and then they're cooked in a creamy broth, and oh, they are to die for. So scrumptious. Highly recommend. So we can do this two ways. Either as we go through course by course, I can take what you would like down, or we can go through the whole menu and then you can kind of set your full menu. Or we also have a suggested menu as well. Like to hear the whole thing? Okay. So after the nibbles course is the salad course. Now these are kind of loosely salads. Not all of them have greens in them or anything like that. It's just very fruit and vegetable heavy pieces, fresh, not cooked. Yeah. Generally. You'll see. So we have a grilled halloumi, watermelon, and a drizzle of salted caramel. Yeah, so they come out in these little slices of watermelon, and then you have the halloumi pieces right on top, and then just the lightest drizzle of salted caramel. It's almost like a dessert, but Oh, I love the saltiness of the halloumi against the watermelon. Delicious. Next we have a broccoli and pine nut salad, which is drizzled in our house-made pesto. Yeah, we do actually have a greenhouse out the back where we grow all our basil and herbs. Certain vegetables, it's not enough room to grow all the vegetables, so we do have local suppliers for our vegetables as well. But all of the herbs that you get here are hand grown by our staff, and oh, they're delicious. So that's where the basil comes from, and in the pesto, oh, it's just delicious over the broccoli with the pine nuts. Lovely. The next salad we have is just a really simple green salad. It's just mesclun greens with a delicious aged Parmesan and aged balsamic vinegar. Yeah, it's a 5-year aged balsamic vinegar. Oh, I would give my firstborn for a bottle of that. Maybe. But it's scrumptious. Very, very worth it. We also have a tomato and cucumber medley. So this includes black Russians, orange, cherry tomatoes with lemon cucumbers, continental cucumbers, and Lebanese cucumbers. Now this has its own special blend of vinegars. Yeah, so it's very light. It has a bit lemony, just lemony hint in there. But it's a blend of red wine, balsamic vinegars, and specialized cider vinegars as well. But it's our chef's blend, and it's amazing. Another amazing salad is the green bean, lemon, tomato, and ricotta salad. And this is just drizzled over with an infused lemon oil. Really light, really tangy, gorgeous. Our final salad is the cold roasted vegetable salad. So this is roasted vegetables, which are roasted to that caramelized perfection and then cooled down in the fridge and served with a beautiful dressing. It's artichoke, eggplant, red pepper, and acorn squash. Yeah, yummy. Now, after the salad course, proceed on to the light bites course. It's just a little teaser course, but a bit beyond the nibbles. First is a little glass of bone broth. It sounds simple, and it is simple, but it is beautifully balanced, delicate in flavor, and just so amazing. It's got chicken, beef, pork bones, and all of those are cooked as per our chef's secret recipe, and then sprinkled over with Himalayan pink salt. It's delicious. It's actually served in a carved out bone glass as well. Yeah, so it's a very immersive experience. The bone broth, highly, highly recommend. We also have the tea-sized roast beef sandwich. So they're just little small sandwiches. That's this way, so they're just little, kind of like a half sandwich. So we have the slow roasted beef on there. This is an 18-hour minimum roasting to really break down the cartilage and make this just fall apart in your mouth. It's delicious. Served with a wasabi mayo. Beautiful little microgreens, again grown in our own greenhouse here. And then it has a piece of thinly sliced hearty cheese and served on a light and airy lavash. Mmm. Delicious. We also have our house-made sausage and vegetable. This is the local Tingledom fennel sausage. It is very popular around here. You'll actually see it around different restaurants, and all of it is very good, but we get the kind of top quality sausage here. Yeah. Well, the chef has a good relationship with the butcher, we'll say, and so gets the best of the sausages. Gets them exactly how she wants them. These are then cooked with onions and red peppers. Very simple dish, but really lets that sausage shine through. Magnifique. We also have the roasted cheese tomatoes. This is just a nice black Russian cut right in half. It's a little scooped out and just covered with sharp cheddar cheese and then roasted in the oven. It heats up perfectly. Scrumptious. We also have a mini kebab. So these are very short, kind of half kebabs. They're just tiny little kebabs, very cute. They have steak, lamb, sweet onion, tomato, and red pepper. So it's one piece of each thing on every mini kebab. And each has its own special marinade that it's prepared in. They are handmade every day, and then it's grilled, char grilled over a grill, and it's delicious. Now, lots of people have requested that as a main dish size because it's so good, but they never complain when they get their actual main dishes because they're all so yummy, but it's just, it is really good. The final light bite that we have is the fried butternut squash ravioli. Yeah, so the pastry is made here. We actually have a separate pastry chef just for the pasta. Yeah, very, very delicate process getting that exactly how we want it to be. It is the perfect texture. And then you have the delicious butternut squash inside with a little bit of ricotta cheese and some spices and fresh herbs. It's then wrapped in that. Those are boiled and then double fried. It gives it a light, crispy coating. But it's very light. It's fried to absolute perfection. So you don't have to worry about any oily, greasy feeling. And so the light bite size, that comes with 4 of those because they're about that size. Oh, they're yummy. Now, before you go into the main dish, you will be provided with just a small little bowl of sorbet. Just basically one little tablespoon-sized spoonful, so if you eat it with a small spoon, you can get it to last a little while. This is just used as a palate cleanser to really prepare you to take on the flavors of your main meal. The options we have for that are lemon, lime, raspberry, orange, and coconut. And all of them are delicious. And, I mean, since you have an in with the hostess, you may be able to get a half scoop of 2 if you do want to try 2. Yeah. Now on to the mains. What everybody really comes to Comestible for. I mean, it's the whole experience, also the beverages. but the mains are really, well, this is where they shine. Now we separate this out to mains and side dishes. They do come out together, but we can consider them separate courses, and you have the 2 courses at once. Yeah, so I'll talk you through the mains and then the side dishes, and you can combine those any way you want. Obviously, we have suggestions for what goes best with what, but you, of course, as the person with the palate, are the one who is always right, as to what you want. The first is the brown sugar pork chops. These are a delicious cut of pork, chopped just to the perfect width. Not too thin, not too thick, cooked to absolute perfection. And then covered with brown sugar, letting that form its own sort of syrup over the pork chops. And then those are sprinkled with the most delicious walnuts that you've ever seen. They're amazing. Now that is lovely with the mashed potatoes, but just saying. The second main we have is the duck l'orange. This is duck thigh with an orange marinade, which is orange zest, juice, and just a little hint of vinegar. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a vinegar connoisseur. I do actually moonlight over at the vinegar shop. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love all sorts of vinegars, so I always have to point that out. Yeah, no, this one in the duck l'orange, it's actually a rice wine vinegar. No, it's an authentic Chinese one, actually. Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah. No, it's like a special recipe, this Chinese woman that we imported from. It's been like a recipe in her family for thousands of years. Yeah, and it just has a very unique flavor. The next main we have is our filet mignon, and this is just a very simple dish. It's just the filet mignon cooked to absolute perfection, tender and lovely. It's actually served on a Himalayan salt slab. This is a delicious way to get the salt in without flaking up on the meat, because it just infuses off the bottom. And you can kind of just touch your piece of meat to the salt slab as you're eating it, and it'll just pick up a little salty flavor. It's so delicious. It's amazing, amazing meat, that one. I also have lamb cutlets. These are served with a delicious red wine cream sauce. This sauce is just, there are no words. There are no words. It has no vinegar in it, but don't hold that against it. Oh, no, it's one of my favorite sauces that we make here. We also have chicken fillets. This is blackened chicken with a delicate sweet chili sauce. Not overly sweet, not overly hot, just perfectly balanced, just absolutely slathered over the chicken fillets. Oh yeah, oh, it's just, everything is very yummy. We also have lobster. That's our final main dish. This is fresh caught lobster, just steamed, beautiful, just pure and simple, served with a delicious wedge of lemon. Yeah. Then, just flip over to now onto the side dishes. We have the garlic mashed potatoes. They are creamy, garlicky, and just have a little hint of parsley as well. They're the best mashed potatoes you've ever had. And they go well with pretty much everything. We also have the delicious house-made thick cut chips. Now these are nothing like anything you could ever get at any sort of fast food restaurant on the mainland. These are delicious fingerling potatoes, which are taken and then parboiled, and then they're cooled, and then lightly breaded and fried to just a beautiful, delicate, crispy exterior. The texture is amazing, and they taste delicious, not fatty or greasy at all. We also have blackened seasonal vegetables. These are hand-selected vegetables every day from our finest producers here in Tingledom. And then they're served with a delicious Cajun, blackened, seasoned, char-grilled, and just uber delicious served warm. We also have a broccoli cauliflower bake, and this is an ultimate refinement. Not like some things you may have had before. It is just the essence of what a broccoli and cauliflower bake should be. It's light but also creamy. It's served with Jarlsberg cheese that's been sprinkled and melted through, and then just bubbly and browning on the top. Yeah, scrumptious. Highly recommend that one. There's also, if you want a little bit of a heartier side, we have a delicious dark mushroom risotto. This has truffles, porcini mushrooms, portobello, and Swiss brown mushrooms, all cooked with a delicious, delicate cream and that delectable bone broth that we were mentioning earlier. Yeah, and it is made by hand as with the arborio rice. Just gets that beautiful light and creamy texture as well. Risotto is all about the texture. Another side we have is the bacon Brussels sprouts. So these are for anybody who hates Brussels sprouts. You might want to try these before you say for sure that you hate them. Actually, many people have been converted to Brussels sprouts just off of having them here, yeah. Now they're cooked in a lovely bone broth again with bacon grease, and then they're sprinkled over the top with crumbed bacon, and then also lightly toasted slivered almonds. Gives it a nice crunch. Oh, so delicious. Our final side is the roasted asparagus. This is actually wild asparagus, all found all throughout the island. It's actually not native to Tingledom. Wild asparagus has actually come over as an invasive species. So our trackers who go out to find it basically rip up everything that they can, and then they bring it back to us so that we can serve it. And it also helps the conservation of Tingledom as well. But if you've never had wild asparagus, it has a little bit more flavor than farmed asparagus. But it's so delicious and just has a real freshness to it. Just really, really good. Yeah. Oh no, it's really yummy. So that's just really simple. Served with it's roasted in this very delicate and beautiful olive oil. Yeah, that one does come from Italy. We don't have any olive trees or groves here on the island, so that's one that we import, yeah. And then just a nice Himalayan salt and a beautiful black cracked pepper as well. Yeah, it's lovely. So that is the main meal. And then we do, of course, have our final course, which is dessert, the most important, of course. Our first dessert option is a delicious fudgy brownie. This is served with our house-made raspberry syrup, which has all the seeds removed, of course. And then with our house-made vanilla bean ice cream. This is a French-style vanilla bean ice cream. You can see the little bean specks all throughout the ice cream. And it's even delicious just to have the raspberry syrup on top of the ice cream. But mix in a bit of that fudgy brownie and oh, you'll think you've died and gone to heaven. Well, that's pretty much what coming to Tingledom is, isn't it? We also have a delicious salted caramel bread pudding. So this uses, if you haven't been to the bakery in Tingledom, they have a scrumptious brioche. We get all their leftover brioche and it's aged just a little bit to the perfect crustiness to bake our lovely bread pudding, which is soaked in a beautiful eggy creamy custard, baked and then smothered in our house-made salted caramel sauce. Oh, yummy. We also have a tangy rhubarb apple pie. This has the most delicate and flaky crust. I told you we have our pastry chef who does the ravioli. This chef is the one who also does the pie crust. Only two jobs they have, and important jobs they are, and this pie crust is the most flaky, the most delicate, and the most delicious that you will have ever had. But that all just kind of melds to the side as the apple and the rhubarb really take center stage. They're seasoned perfectly, but really it just allows these fruits and rhubarb to shine in their natural element. It is a truly delectable pie that is served either as a single slice or it can be served a la mode with our vanilla bean ice cream again. Another very popular dessert is our passion fruit panna cotta. Now, lots of people have had panna cotta, and if you haven't had one with a good consistency, you may not think it's a great dessert. But until you've had this one, I would suspend all judgment. It's got little flecks of the vanilla beans again. It's beautiful vanilla bean panna cotta. And it's smothered on top with this simply gorgeous passion fruit syrup and just a little smattering of seeds, just adding a little bit of crunchiness in there. Ooh. I think my tummy's rumbling just from thinking about that one. We also have a decadent and delicious creme brulee, our own house-made custard, and that top is, you can sometimes get the top when it's a little bit too thick, it kind of gets stuck in your teeth. This is just the lightest covering, just cracks with beautiful, delicate crust on the top of that creme brulee. Oh, magnifique, once again. Our final dessert is a chili chocolate lava cake. So the chili is actually in the exterior cake itself, and then you have that ooey gooey lava that just oozes out. The chocolate here in the center is an Amano chocolate, one of the finest in the world, and it is the Chuao, yes, which is their premier chocolate bar, and you can actually taste the flavor as it oozes out of that chocolate lava cake. Yeah, it's amazing. Now, if you haven't, there's actually there's a chocolate shop in town that only does dark chocolate, and they do dark chocolate tasting. They have a full range of Amano bars, Michel Cluzel. They have all sorts of dark chocolates, but that also are single origin. It's amazing. Yeah, you should definitely try it out. But this lava cake, oh, so good. I just love it. It's a little hint of chili. It's not overpowering, just gives it a little kick, and it really just all melts together in ooey gooey goodness. So yummy. Yeah, pretty good, eh? So, have you decided on your nibbles and that sort of thing? The thing we can do is we can get you drinks, and then I can take your order at the table if you prefer as well. Just depends on what you'd like. Just want to go into the drinks. Okay. Well, we have 3 ways we do our drinks, depending on what sort of beverage you are looking for. The first we have is the wine cellar, which is just off that direction. Now, in the wine cellar, it's actually set out in a map of the world, and there's bottles everywhere. And so in each area is actually the wine that comes from that region. So obviously we have a large smattering from Italy, France, Australia, Napa, those sort of areas. But we also have wines from some really good, lesser-known vineyards, which are from all throughout the world. So you can get some of the most unique wines here. Well, for example, we have one that's from Iceland, grown on a single farm, and they grow it in a greenhouse because obviously the climate doesn't permit. Very, very unique. Yeah, they don't even have a red and a white. That one is only a white wine, yeah. Yeah, it's just a deliciously crisp Moscato. One of my favorites. But that is definitely, we'll take you through there and show you that if you are interested in the wines. The other thing we have off that direction is our beer tap. So this is just a nice long bar. It's actually 10 meters long, the bar, and there is a tap all along the way. And we tap at all sorts of beer from all around the world again. They're actually arranged, not geographically, not alphabetically, but they're arranged in rainbow order. Yes, well, obviously there's quite a few reds and blues, not as many purples and oranges and yellows, but you'll definitely see them when they stick out. So it's a gorgeous display, and so that's where we serve our beers from. It's actually a self-serve tap, so you can go and get the beers there. obviously we have a wide variety of beers from microbreweries all across the world. So while we have a few that are well known, most of them are probably something you haven't heard of. So we do have a beer connoisseur behind the bar to kind of give you an idea of what one you might be interested in. Finally, off that direction, we have the juice bar, which you probably noticed decked out. It has all those palm leaves around and little fruit bowls and everything like that. So we do have pre-made juices that are there, but you can also select the fruit that you would like put into a juice for you. There are actually live plants there, so you can have very, very fresh juice as well. Right now I think there's strawberries growing in there, which are coming up and so delicious. They're just those little tiny ones. Yeah. Oh no, the strawberry juice is delicious. Yeah, no, they're a particular variety bred specifically for their flavor, rather than most that you see in the supermarket are bred for their size rather than their flavor. Yeah. Oh, and then, you know, all sorts of melons and that sort of thing. Yeah. And then, I mean, we don't really count it, but off right over there is the water bar as well, where you can get Tingledom spring water, you can get mineral water, or you can actually get cloud harvested water. Yeah, it's actually been harvested from the clouds directly. It's pretty unique. Oh well. There's somebody who actually does a tour at the factory for the water, so she'd kill me if I divulged her secrets, because I've gone on her tour so many times, because it's a really good tour. But yeah, so go to the tour, then you can find out, and I won't get in trouble. Yeah, so that's where you can get your beverages. So would you like me to take you to one of those stations? Well, then let me take you to the map wine room. Thanks for watching this video.